Hi, this is Taurus McBride with Taurus Tech, and I wanted to show some of the new features that we just added to our New York City Refrigeration Engineer Practical course. Previously, we just had everything in one chapter, but I wanted to break it up so that it could give people the ability to focus more on the different sections as they're preparing for the tests. So you can see here that the first chapter is going to be reciprocating chillers. And if I were to open up our simulator here, you're going to see that the questions are only going to deal with the reciprocating chiller. Find a component that feeds circuit to evaporator on the reciprocating chiller. Let's see if I select this one. There you go. That's the correct answer. So all of the questions on this section are just going to be on the reciprocating chiller, as opposed to the way we had it before, where you would get a mixture of questions. All of the videos that we have here have to do only with the reciprocating chiller. Now, once I feel comfortable with that, I can go to the centrifugal chiller section. And again, all the videos here are going to do with the centrifugal chiller. So if I open up this simulator here, it's going to ask me questions on the centrifugal chiller, find the component that transmit the cooling water supply to the surface condenser on the centrifugal chiller. Let's see here. Okay, so that's correct. So again, this is going to allow students to focus in more on specific areas. The third chapter is going to do with system components. Now, the difference here is that this will have all of the different system components, including the reciprocating and centrifugal chillers, in addition to the cooling towers and the pumps and the air handler. Okay, now you see it's asking for something on the pressurization system. So if I go to navigation, you see that we have all of our different um, types of systems here that we can try to answer questions on things that don't just have to do with the chillers. Component that raises supplemental water pressure. So that should be our pump. There we go. The next section is going to do with calculations and readings. And if we look at the video sections, this is all having to do with the different types of calculations that we might have to do on the test. Here's an example of a readings question that we might have to perform. So find the discharge line temperature for the centrifugal chiller. So I'm going to navigate to chiller 2, that's the centrifugal. So I can zoom in over here and I can press this compressor button right here and I can get some information. And this is telling me my discharge temperature is 146 degrees. I can open up my keypad right here, 146, submit that, and that's correct. And then the last section has to do with procedures and scenarios. Scenarios are essentially multiple step questions. Go to the centrifugal chiller and select the two components that would display the information needed to display the delta P from the primary condenser. So I can find a pressure gauge. So let's say if it's this one right here, submit that as my answer. That's correct. According to the system specs, what should the reading be? I can open up a document here and see where it says chiller specs. And I can zoom in here, put it in 160, submit, and that's correct. So that's an example of how these scenarios work, where they're going to give you a couple of different steps to follow in order to answer the question. The difference with the procedures are those are long, lengthy procedures that we're going to have to follow, such as reciprocating startup, centrifugal startup, vapor recovery, uh, centrifugal chiller recovery. So things like that. So this is why I decided to break things up into different chapters. You can see over here, there's a lot of different videos that just have to do with the different types of procedures and things like that. We probably have 30, 40 different videos. The reason for that is when people come to us from other schools, they're really lacking a lot of information about uh not just how to answer questions. Like we don't just train people to, memorize and answer questions. We're trying to help people understand how this stuff works so that no matter what they get asked on the test, they'll be successful. You may have heard in one of our earlier videos, I mentioned Taurus AI. So that's something that we're introducing now to also help students um, be able to learn even better. So find a component on system one, isolate the compressor from the low pressure liquid line. So it's probably talking about the suction service valve. So I'm going to submit that, and that's correct. But I want to show you guys something here. I have my suction service valve selected here, and I'm going to hit that info button. So number one, chiller one, circuit one, suction service valve. If I hit this button here that says no more, it's going to start to dig up information on this particular component. You'll see that it starts talking about refrigerant flow control, maintenance access, system diagnostics. These are all the things that a service valve allows you to do. It allows you to hook up your gauge manifold to do diagnostics. It allows you to take pressure readings. It allows you to gain access if I want to add or remove refrigerant, if I want to pressurize the system, if I want to evacuate the system. So this is just more that we're adding here to help our students be successful, whether it's on a test or whether it's actually learning how to do this stuff in the real world. So we have a lot of big announcements coming, both for our refrigeration course, for our oiler course, for our HVAC mechanic course. We're actually going to be reducing our HVAC mechanic course from a 2-year, 400-hour course to a 1-year, 300-hour course. We actually have a large charitable organization that wants us to train a lot of people. So we're trying to figure out the best way that we can try to give them as much knowledge and hands-on experience as possible so that we can help get them jobs with the people in our network that are looking for people right now. So keep an eye out because we have a lot of announcements coming. And this is just like the tip of the iceberg.